Life's too short to drive boring cars. Do you want to drive a vehicle with a transmission that pops into neutral, surges, lunges, costs you huge dollars at the dealer, and constantly causes you aggravation and safety issues? Well, neither do I. That's the last thing I want, because transmissions are the second most expensive part in most vehicles. So I'm going to share a list of 5 of the worst transmissions and their vehicles that you'll find them in, so you can hopefully avoid the same problems like I do. Let's get into it now. So the first vehicle on my list with notably bad transmissions is the little Sputnik parked behind me, and that's the Jeep Cherokee. And we're talking about 2014 all the way up to present. There's different variations of problems. But before we talk, let's go. Who doesn't like a Jeep? Everybody likes a Jeep, right? With the conventional grille, you've got little tow hooks on front to tow your buddies. They've got these cute little headlights, almost understated, slightly charming, and they're definitely unique. So the vehicle definitely has its presence about it. Right there, you've got some great plastic cladding there, and as well cladding all the way along and around there as well, and lots of cladding around the back, just to provide that extra durability to prevent mud and rock wrecking the undercarriage and the bottom edge of the vehicle. You've also got a tow hook here, and you can also tow a trailer with this, if you can believe it or not. Of course, being a Jeep, it is 4x4 or 4-wheel drive, and we're looking at a Trailhawk edition. Back end is your classic SUV style with the slight overhang. You've got a sunroof on top, and again, it's trail rated. And you've got these little mirrors, slightly basic looking, and you've got some luggage racks, which are great for hauling around the junk. Throw a couch up there, how about a sheet of plywood and some drywall, you're good to go. Hauling to the dump is no problem for this Jeep Cherokee, as long as the transmission doesn't fail you on your way there. But let's take a look inside. And then you've got this low-grade leather interior. Feels more like pleather, or almost like those IKEA imitation leather seats. You've also got contrast stitching, which looks to be high quality, but all the plastics in here remind you that this is a Dodge product. Now, what's the problem with these vehicles? Well, back in 2014-16, they started seeing issues. This is the ZF 9-speed automatic transmission, and ZF, obviously German manufacturers, generally known to make some of the best transmissions. As a matter of fact, the 8-speed before it was a bulletproof rig. This one here, there have been known issues, some of which is a poor crimp within the wiring harness of the transmission has caused electrical shorts or faults within Grand Cherokee, so 2016 and up. But in these particular models, you're dealing with software and logic changes that need to take place, because what happens is these vehicles can kick into neutral after you've put them into park, so they don't necessarily secure themselves. Very dangerous condition if this vehicle starts to roll away. There's also a class action lawsuit by many customers who claim that these vehicles can also kick into neutral while you're driving. They sometimes don't want to downshift, making braking very difficult, sometimes aggressive upshifts and slipping, as well as outright catastrophic failures from time to time. So whether it's software, whether it's hardware, or whether it's just driver error, the problem is these are not all that robust. And because of the plethora of issues and the relative expense on repairing a German-made transmission outside of warranty, means that's a vehicle I would run like the dickens from. The 14 and newer Jeep Cherokee. And the next problem child transmission is what's tucked under the belly pan of this vehicle, and we're talking about a Chevy Tahoe here. And there's a whole bunch of other vehicles. There's some Escalades, ATSs, CTSs, Silverados, Corvettes, Camaros, and almost everything under GM in the last couple of years. And more specifically, we're talking about the 8-speed automatic transmission in this vehicle. Specifically, the two are the 8L45E and the 8L90 are the two transmissions that we're talking about here. And most of them are in the 2015 to 2019 model years. But let's take a quick look around. First, I personally love these vehicles because their size, and they're a full-size SUV. They're great for towing. I like the fact that these aren't the extended version. These are essentially the shorter box, of course, in the Yukon. Very practical, very powerful, and easy to live with. But let's take a look. And there we've got the chrome rims, running boards in chrome, which also helps you step on in there if you're a smaller person. Great headlights. I love these projectors. And of course, you've got all this chrome grille, which isn't quite as blah as you see in a Cadillac Escalade. And a little less show off too as well. Of course, you've got little fog lamps there, and you've got some little tow hooks to help somebody pull them out of distress. How about these wonderful mirrors? You've got this beautiful black trim on there, and you can see here you've got the lane departure warning and all kinds of other safety features built in. Soft touch. And soft touch again, and we have the LT model here. Now, if you look back here, it's pretty much the identical vehicle as the Escalade beside it with this large little rooftop. Of course, you've got this great big flat back panel, maximizing your space because the most efficient space is a square. So you can get as many parts and pieces and junk packed into this back trunk area as you can possibly imagine. Down there, of course, you've got this removable panel right there, so you can actually outfit it with a hitch if it doesn't have one already, and the spare tire hangs on down below. Of course, you've got a roof rack here, but you'll notice this one's just a black plastic, and the Escapade there has the chrome style. A little more bling in the Escapade, but essentially the same vehicle. Of course, the Escapade, you've got the extra lights there. Otherwise, generally the same vehicle, same problems apply. And the interior is well decked out. Nice leather touches, lots of plastic, but it definitely doesn't feel all that cheap. It's a nice mid-grade feel to it. And because it's built on a pickup truck chassis, it does very, very well on rough roads, off-roading. But take a look underneath. This one's used. You could tell it's been rode hard, put away wet. Sure, you've got shiny wheels, but look underneath there. Look at all the rust in the frame and the chassis area. You see it down underneath. You see a lot of rust underneath there. That means this thing has definitely seen some inclement weather along the way. Not a big fan of the way they finished this. Of course, this door actually has just a thin seam here. Instead of having a proper lip like you get in the fender extends and then it just goes thin door. So to me, that looks like an area that's going to chip away and rust very prematurely with age. But that's not the real problem. The real problem is the transmission. And we're talking about alleged class action lawsuits where the vehicle sometimes applying brakes, it doesn't want to actually downshift and it's kind of forcing the vehicle forward. Other problems with it slipping or it's juddering or you're driving along and there's a shake and shimmy and that's coming out of the gearbox. So it's quite unfortunate these have as many transmission problems as they do, but hopefully they get through this with the class action lawsuit. Chevy does something about it and then vehicles going forward will be improved because this in fact is a great, very versatile pickup truck style SUV. And the next dud of a transmission shouldn't be a huge surprise because it's a continuously variable transmission made by Jatco. And those you'll typically find in the Nissan Pathfinder and the Nissan Rogue in the 2014 to 2016 model years. Apparently there's an alleged class action lawsuit. And here we have the Nissan, and it's an SV. Whoa, super veloce like Lamborghini Aventador. And it's an all-wheel drive, and it's a Rogue right there. But you'll look, you've got all this chrome down there, and you've got this, not sure really what that is, but it's there, and you've got these funky little taillights, and your classic SUV looks like virtually 90% of the other SUVs out there with the little overhang, and you've got the junk rack on top, chrome, more chrome with a soft touch, and you've got the mirror, of course, with a little LED strip. And then you've got this shrouding all the way along to protect the vehicle from the rocks and gravel you'll find on the road like that. Of course, you've got these little spotlights and, of course, headlights here. Oversized and not really necessary. Here's your Nissan. But what's with these little chips and divots all over this fake chrome? That's something that you'll find happening with these vehicles as they get older, too. And they have their standard little aluminum wheels right there. No sunroof on this rig. And as you can tell, the interior is very base model looking, but it's that clunk that big knobby in the middle that drives the CVT transmission in this vehicle. And sadly, these Nissan Rogues and Pathfinders have a lot of transmission issues with the CVT, whether it's the belt braking or you've got sensor problems, or it's just a lack of proper maintenance because they are very maintenance intensive transmissions. Unfortunately, whatever the problem is, it's starting to affect more and more, even more recent models in the Nissan lineup. And sadly, the Rogue has gone rogue on reliability. The next vehicle on my list is Patriot, Caliber, and Compass, as we have right here. And so here we have the little Jeep Chrysler Fiat product, and we have the Compass right there. As you can see, we've got all the plastic cladding as a lot of the SUVs have nowadays, but because this is a smaller, more scaled down version of any other SUV, you'll notice they do away with a lot of the other cladding. There's no cladding around here, just at the bottom there on the rocker. You've got sort of a cheaper style of mirror, very cheap style headlights, and of course, it does carry the Jeep grille, which is at least kind of nice. But look at these low budget fog lights right there. They do have some interesting wheels, but what's with that rusted out caliper right there? There's no frills, no sunroof, undersized wheels. You'll notice a lot of indent there inset, just because this is truly a no frills vehicle. And it is 4x4 at least, and it's a Jeep. as you would expect. They're all made to go off-road. You do actually have these little flares, which is nice at least because it gives it some shape and style there. And look on the inside and you're looking at absolute bare bones, non-essential outfitting there. Low-grade plastics, suitable for a Fisher-Price playground. But the problem with these vehicles is they have the Jatco CVT, continuously variable transmission. It's the JF011E version. And specifically 2010 to 2013 is where we're seeing a lot of the problems. And what a lot of customers are complaining now is poor or delayed acceleration because it takes time for that belt to tighten up and to grab, and that results then in acceleration, which this thing lacks. And so the problem with these is shuddering, juddering, delayed acceleration, and the big problem with this is because of a lack of calibration and the belt being too loose, what ends up happening is the belt delays acceleration. So people are noticing that you get your foot into the throttle and it waits, and then off it goes. But even more so when you're climbing a hill and you're accelerating up a hill, the big problem there is the engine starts to overheat because it's revving too high to try to maintain, and the belt slipping at the same time, ultimately causing a premature failure in the belt and the pulleys. And once the vehicle overheats, there's talk about these vehicles actually having to be pulled over, wait for half an hour for it to cool down, and then you're off to the races again. But unfortunately, very, very problematic and a weak, under-designed transmission. And the next vehicle with very problematic transmission should be of no surprise. Most vehicles with the Infiniti or Nissan badge tend to carry a CVT transmission, and the Infiniti QX60 is no different. So here we have the QX60, actually very lusciously appointed, beautiful headlight assembly, nicely finished. Of course, you've got the Infiniti badge, definitely prominent there. And of course, you've got some nice chrome accents and some nice finishing touches along the front with all your sensors. Of course, you've got the nice gunmetal gray alloy wheels down here. And of course, it's a 3.5-liter V6 under the hood that makes about 265 horsepower. Of course, you've got soft touch and you've got nice little chrome accents throughout. Of course, nice little plastic shrouding along the bottom to protect it from rocks. And they added the extra accent, almost like Acura does too. Of course, you got the big roof racks there to haul junk around. And a typical SUV has that classic overhang and steeply sloped back rear window. And the rear tail lights are nicely finished. And there's your QX60. More chrome, definitely looks high quality. And you can even tow something with it too, which just seems like a hot mess, being that it's a CVT transmission and they don't like heavy loads, so it definitely seems counterproductive. Of course, they've got this great little trim. I love that chrome accents all the way along, but if you look at the overall stance, it feels more like a wagon than it does an SUV. I would say the interior is easily some of the nicest interiors in its segment, nicely finished, high quality leather feel, but it's that shift knob in the middle that's unfortunately attached to the continuously variable transmission. And so all of the luxury appointments, including the sunroof and all the fancy leather and touchscreens and innovations in this vehicle, can't make up for that transmission that causes stink from burning belts, slipping, juddering, difficult acceleration, delayed acceleration, and outright failures on a regular basis. It's been recognized as a very poor reliability overall. The QX60 unfortunately has a very poor reliability, and most of it has to do with the transmission. Now, fortunately, there's allegedly a dumpster fire recall that balls all of these CVT transmissions, Nissan and Infiniti, all into one, which usually means some repairs, means some reprogramming, and an additional warranty added on to keep the customers happy. Unfortunately, what does that mean when you're at 4 or 5, 6 years of age? When all of that NHTSA is out of the way and the warranty's gone, you basically have a CVT transmission that's both disengaging to drive as well as very problematic and unreliable. The CVT and the QX60. And with all of that said, right here, check it out. Worst motors available on the market today. Hope to see you guys on the next one. Catch you real soon. Bye-bye.